recognize or have that ready to be recognized in under a second. But if you send multiple successive single commands using the add command API, the platform is going to wait until you're done sending those to process them all at once. So if you want a lot of voice, we recommend using choice sets because those process a lot faster. But the caveat there, you need to go down a level, meaning you need something to trigger that perform interaction. But yeah, no, it's very quick in terms of time to send for recognition.
But if you're just doing, let's say, add command for one command, is that
yeah, you will by the time you send that command, the pressing the button will take longer. Yeah.
But you have to first activate it to listen, right?
So with perform interaction, the platform, the app itself can tell the user, basically the car, to trigger listening. So, yeah. So for example, in the Major League Baseball app, which just launched this past week, when they initialize, they will ask, they'll basically prompt, and they'll say, hey, give me a team name. Give me a team name that you want to hear, or say list games. So you can, once you're done initializing, you've done all your data collection from the back end, you can trigger a listing.
How about the subsequent activity? Like if you do perform interact with a choice set, prompt them for some input, and then they answer that choice set. Can you push another interaction as a response to that one and put it back in the listening mode? You can.
Yeah. So the question was, can you use a perform interaction, get the response back, and then trigger another one? The answer is yes. You can do that, and you can do that up to 3 times in a row. 3 times in a row successively without the user actually interacting. So the minute the user, I'm sorry,
self-destruct after that?
Not self-destruct. It's a driver distraction thing. So the platform is preventing an app from consistently hammering the user with listening. Yeah. So there's a timeout value, and if you're doing 3 perform interactions in a row, there's probably a better way to do what you're looking for. Last year, Spotify did their hack, and they used perform interaction to get, for example, all of the albums of a particular artist. So you were listening to an artist, you hit the voice button, and you would say, like, play me their albums or give me their albums, and it would come back and say, okay, which album do you want to listen to? And you could have named any album at that point.
But if I'm correct, if you don't answer within a period of time, is it going to start reading you back the choice set?
So the question, if I understood correctly, was if you don't answer within a particular time, it's going to start reading you back a question? Yes. So there are, but you can configure that in the API. So when you time out, you can prompt the user again. If you don't set a timeout value, it's going to use your question. You can also configure the word help, and you can change. So let's say you offer something, and the user doesn't know what to say. When they say help, you can provide the text that the user will hear. So you'll be able to, you press the voice button and you say choose a restaurant type, and the user doesn't know what to say. If they say help, you can program the platform to come back and say the type of restaurant, like Italian or Asian or whatever. So you have in the API the ability to overwrite that. Yeah. So there's a lot of parameters. The APIs, there's a short list of APIs, but each API has a lot of parameters within it that allow you to configure how sync is going to behave in terms of its voice interactions, or how you, for example, use button commands. Any other questions? If not, I know I will say one thing. A lot of you are probably interested in vehicle data. The API that we have today does not offer vehicle data. I know that's really disappointing. We're working on it. There is a lot of data that's available in the car one of the things that if you wanted to do a vehicle data hack and use vehicle data to present information to the user, one of the ideas you could do, you could simulate vehicle data on the back end or use some of the White House open data sets. They have vehicle data available for use. And then you can use that data and present it into the vehicle for whatever reason, right? So a good idea, red light cameras, you can, for example, simulate, where you are, where you want to be, and present that information inside of the vehicle. So even if there's not things that you don't, or even if there aren't things that you have access to in the API, I'm sure we'll eventually introduce those things. You could still create a hack using some of the other APIs and